Beginning of part two. Rush Limbaugh interview. C Wallace.
We asked our viewers for some questions.
I love Fox viewers. I love them.
Well, George Hepland sent this. If President Obama would agree to an interview, what would be your first question?
Why are you doing this? Why? What do you not like about this country that makes you want to inflict this kind of damage on it?
Lucille Goldman sent this question. Did you vote for John McCain in the 2008 presidential election?
I did.
Really?
Of course.
But you've been so critical of John McCain.
Yes, but you weigh the two. I don't think, there's a lot of people, Chris, that are saying there's no difference in two parties. I know a lot of people think that, and they really believe it, but I don't know of any Republican who would try to take over 1/6 of the U.S. economy. I don't know one Republican who would put forth this irresponsible cap and trade bill. I don't know one Republican who actually do that as something he initiated.
Let's talk about the state of the GOP. A recent Fox News poll found that the approval rating for the president has dropped to 49%, but meanwhile, only 25% of people approve of congressional Republicans. As voters have growing doubts about the president and his policies, why aren't they turning to the opposition? Is there something that the Republican Party lacks in the way of a positive, affirmative agenda?
The Republican Party needs to learn something. If it goes country club blue blood moderate, it's going to lose. If it goes Reagan conservative and commits to it, it's going to win landslides.
To press my question, why aren't people turning to the Republicans?
Well, right now there's no central Republican leader to turn to, and there's no central Republican message. The Republican message is sort of muddied. What do they stand for? Right now it's opposition to Obama.
Is that enough?
Well, it may be in 2010. I mean, I actually do think that there's going to be a revolt against the Democrat Party and against Obama, even if voters in 2010 have nothing to vote for.
So do you think that the Republican Party, do you see it as a big tent party or a small tent party?
Big tent.
But you sound like you're kind of saying to the moderates, particularly on social issues, if we lose you, too bad.
When I say big tent, I look at the United States of America. So I'm an American. I love this country. I want everybody in it to do well. The conservative message is not, okay, Hispanics, we have this plan for you. Women, we have this plan for you. That's what the Republican Party is trying to do and emulate group politics. And the history is that, why be Democrat light? Let them handle that. Let's go after the big tent that is the country, and let's go get every person in this country. I don't care what their race is, what their gender is, what their sexual orientation is. If they are told that there is somebody that's going to lead this country or party that is actually going to strengthen them, give them the tools, get out of their way, and let them make this country work, the Republican Party can attract a majority like they haven't seen since the 80s.
In the Time magazine article about Glenn Beck recently,
oh yeah,
they write, just as you found your place as the triumphant champion of the age of Reagan, that Beck is tapping into the fear and anger on the right today. Is that why you think he struck such a chord? Because he taps into the fear, the anger of the conservatives today?
There is a lot of fear. There's a tremendous amount of fear in the country over what is happening in Washington to individual liberty and freedom. He may well have tapped into that. The anger, I think that's sometimes overplayed because it's become a cliche for the left to say angry white men as a way of denigrating conservative energy and ideology. But there's no question there's a lot of anger, and if he's tapped into that, I wouldn't be surprised.
When you look at Glenn Beck and you see this explosion,
yeah,
what do you feel?
Well, I'm kind of proud.
No envy, no competition.
No. I mean, my radio audience is astronomically high. Look at 1988. There was nobody doing what I'm doing. Nobody. You had CNN was the only cable network, and you had the three networks and the newspapers. And now look what's out. All of this conservative media, conservative talk radio, television, Fox News, the conservative blogosphere. I mean, in one way, I can, if I wanted to have my ego be as big as Obama's is, I could say, look what I created. So any success out there on my side, conservative media, damn, if it's going to help us get this country back, bring more in.
Let's talk about you. You said recently, I actually thank God for my addiction to pain pills because I learned more about myself in rehab than I would have ever learned otherwise. What did you learn from drug rehab?
One of the things that I'd always had trouble with in my life was trying to be what other people expected me to be or wanted me to be in my personal life, because I wanted to be liked. You know, everybody's raised to want to be liked and to want to be loved. Nobody wants to grow up being hated. Now, interestingly, my radio career, I don't care. You know, I figured that out. It was a tough thing, Chris, to learn to take as a measure of success being hated, you know, by 20 or 30% of the country. I mean, that's because nobody's raised for that. But in my personal life, the thing I learned most was that the only way to have real intimacy with people, real solid relationships, is to be who you are. That will attract the kind of people worthy of having intimate relationships with. Good